An area that needs very little introduction. It's famous for bars, restaurants, nightlife, shopping, street food, markets, expensive hotels and flashy condos, as well as Patpong, of course. Plus, almost 200 years of interesting history. Welcome to Silom. Just behind me is the corner of Patpong Road and Silom Road. I've got an old photo of that same spot in the days when there was a canal running down one side of Silom Road, the Khlong Silom. And that would be a photo that would be pretty much impossible to recreate in the present day zone. The canal was filled in around 1962 when Silom was becoming the central business district. If you're in the area with a couple of hours to kill, I strongly suggest visiting the Patpong Museum. You can get up close and personal with all the history around here, plus you get a guided tour. Quick bit of interesting history while we're in the Patpong area. Patpong Road was where the first ever 7-Eleven opened, right here on the 1st of June 1989. So that's almost 33 years since you first ever heard those famous door chimes. Although back then I don't think they had automatic doors. Well, the sound of construction is pretty difficult to avoid here on Convent Road, and I'm looking across here to what was Molly Malone's pub, and 10 years ago I might be contemplating running across there for a drink, but that is clearly not the case anymore. That whole plot of land on that corner has completely disappeared. The Park Silom development is well underway. Now, just a couple of years ago, the Sibun Roaring Buildings 1 and 2 were there, and in between was the Siwadol office building. There used to be a building there called Siwadol House. That was a teak wooden building built in 1922. The owners of that house were well known in the old Silom community for their generosity and kindness, and that is one of the local landmarks that will never be forgotten amongst the older residents of the Silom community. The 1980s saw a boom in high-rise office towers sprouting up along Silom Road. A lot of companies were moving their headquarters and offices to the central business district. Bangkok Bank were one of the first to build their tower. Originally, the BTS station here at Saladeng was going to be called Silom, and they were the first to build their flyover across Saladeng intersection. Now the MRT had that in mind. They were going to run their line above ground, but they couldn't build a flyover higher than the SkyTrain. So the BTS said, well, sorry about that. We'll let you call your station Silom, we'll call ours Saladeng, and you can run your line underground. The MRT Blue Line was run underneath Rama 4 Road, and there were several things that made life particularly difficult for construction. One of them was the landowners on either side of Rama 4 Road. There was no way any part of the construction or any stations could touch that land under any circumstances. Another factor was the flyovers on Rama 4. The piles for those flyovers went down at least 30 metres. As a result, they ended up having the longest escalator in Southeast Asia here at Silom when the station opened in 2004. When the SkyTrain opened, they had 3 skywalks on the whole network. That was Victory Monument, the Asia Hotel, and here, going directly into Robinson's Silom, that used to be, well, right in front of me. I know it's not exactly a massive historic landmark, but it gives me a great excuse to show you a couple of old photos of Robinson's Silom. Well, the story of the Dusit Thani Hotel is a familiar one on this channel. I think this is the second or third time I've told it, but it's always a pleasure to talk about such interesting history here in Silom. Dusit Thani Hotel, built in the late 60s. When it opened in 1971, it was the tallest structure in Bangkok. Many of the original features are being incorporated into the brand new development, the Dusit Central Park, which is due to open in 2024. One local landmark about to face the wrecking ball is the Narai Hotel, which has been in this location since 1968, famous for its revolving restaurant, all-inclusive buffets, Italian food. 1970s it was famous for high-so weddings. It was the place to be seen to be tying the knot back in those days. It's going to be rebuilt into a resort-style complex, and I did look online for any stories of ghosts and hauntings, couldn't find any, which was a little bit disappointing. I'm at Bangkok's famous British club here in Silom Soi 18. It's been here since 1910. It was founded in 1903 and the original building was on the corner of Surawong Road and Mahasat Road. When the British Embassy land was sold in 2018, the First World War Memorial was moved here a year later. It commemorates 25 Siam-based British soldiers who fought in World War I, some of whom were members. The British Club is exclusively members only, it always has been, but I did ask if there were any celebrity or showbiz connections from down the years, and a few names did pop up. Bjorn Borg opened the tennis courts here in 1983. Baroness Margaret Thatcher came on a visit in 1993. And there has been numerous TV series and movies filmed here. The Serpent was shot here a couple of years ago, the British Embassy scenes. And Edward Woodward with Priscilla Presley shot Love Me Forever back in 1982. I do mention Edward Woodward because The Equalizer is one of my all-time favourite TV series. If you're into the 1960s architecture that Bangkok has so much of, then you'll absolutely love this end of Silom Road. I'm at the Surasak intersection, an area where in the 1960s quite a few hotels started popping up. One of the first was the Victory Hotel, which was so successful that the owners went on to build the Narai Hotel just up the road. A rather elegant building on the corner just behind me was the Rama Hotel, which was demolished in the 1980s to make way for the Sita building there. But when the Holiday Inn arrived, no hotels around here could compete with its very unique architecture. I've got a story to tell you about the Holiday Inn, but I'll wait till it gets a little bit dark and when I've changed my shirt. Silom Road comes to an end here at Bang Rak intersection where it meets Charoen Krung Road. Up until 1962, the Silom Canal would run down here underneath the Challon Bark 54 bridge and then round the corner coming out into the Chao Phraya River. The landmark you can't miss at the end of Silom Road is of course the Lebua State Tower, 68 floors of Romanesque architecture designed by Rangsan Torsawan. He was also behind the Satorn Unique Tower, also known as the Ghost Tower. This took them 10 years to build. It opened in 2001 and of course it's well known for its rooftop bar. I checked the prices on the menu by the way and they are a little bit out on my price range. The ornamental windmill here at Narai intersection was built to commemorate the history of Silom Road, and contrary to popular belief, it is not an original and nor does it spin even when it's really windy. I thought this story would be best told in the dark here at the Holiday Inn Silom. This is a hotel that is in the top 10 of the most haunted hotels in Asia, so that's good enough for me. As you can probably see, there's a spirit house out the front, which is another potential sign of supernatural activity. Now, these ghostly sightings took place in the old wing. Guests over the years have reported seeing a long-haired woman and a child running around the corridors. Other guests reported to staff that they woke up in the night to see a very young child standing at their bed staring at them and then disappearing. So very chilling indeed, and as usual, if these stories are true or not, we don't know. But, as I always say, everyone loves a good ghost story. What's this area like after dark? Is it safe to walk the streets of Silom once the sun goes down? Certain parts of Silom does have a particular reputation, namely Patpong. But one thing I like about Bangkok is that it's relatively safe to walk the streets at night. I took a walk down Silom Road and Surawong Road one night, and I was very surprised at what I saw. King Rama VI donated his very own private land to be made into Lumpini Park in 1925, and his statue has adorned the entrance ever since. They're currently refurbishing the park in readiness for the centenary celebrations in 3 years' time. If you're into wildlife, there are lizards wandering around the park during the day, and on particularly hot days you have to be careful. You might bump into one lying in the sun trying to get a few sun rays. In the evenings, that's where my favourite part of the day is, the cats come out to play. I thought it'd be nice to end the video here in Lumpini Park with a bit of peace and quiet and downtime, chilling out with one of the many cats here. I hope you've enjoyed this historic exploration of Silom. Please subscribe if you haven't already done so. You can like, share, leave a comment, give me some of your feedback, any areas you'd like me to cover in future videos. If you want to support the channel, you can buy me a coffee or join the channel and become a member. That would be absolutely fantastic. That just leaves me to say thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you sooner than you think.